Hello, and thanks for joining me today for a moon practice. In a moon practice, we want to work on extending the exhales, working with movement and with the breath so that we can come back to the still and calm place of the mind. Through extending the exhales, we tell our body and our mind to calm. So let's go ahead and start on our backs, just connecting to the breath. Rolling down, bringing our feet towards our seat, resting our palms on the mat. Just beginning to melt the shoulders away from our ears. Starting to simply connect with our breath. Just noticing. As we breathe through the nose, just become aware of the rhythm of your breath. Visualize the air coming into your nostrils as you inhale and emptying out as you exhale. Gently inhaling and the navel rises, and exhaling, the navel falls towards the spine. And just continue here, noticing the navel rise as we inhale, and gently going back towards the spine as we exhale. Just seeing if we can lengthen the exhale each time a little longer than the last. And just be here for a few more moments, really connecting with your breath. And on your next inhale, again adjusting the feet closer to your seat, planting the palms on the earth. Start to inhale and roll your hips up, coming into a bridge. Vertebra by vertebra, coming up to where your shoulder blades are resting on the mat. And then exhale, slowly rolling back down. And two more, just like that. Vertebra by vertebra, rolling up as we inhale. And then rolling back down as we exhale, emptying the air out. Connecting these movements with the own rhythm of your breath. One more round. And I'm settling back into a resting bridge. And now we'll add some arm and leg movements. So on your next inhale, as you peel the hips up, also raise the arms overhead to the ground, above your head. Inhaling to the top. And then as you exhale, bringing the arms back down by your side. Back with your sacrum, connecting to the earth. And then on your next inhale, lifting the legs up so that your feet can almost touch the ceiling. And then exhale, hugging your knees into your chest, holding your shins, emptying out. And then bringing your feet back down to the earth and inhaling again. into bridge with the arms extended above your head, maybe a little higher than before. And now as you exhale, bringing the arms down, count to 5 with your exhale. Inhaling the legs up straight so that the soles of the feet are parallel to the ceiling. And then exhale, hugging your knees into your chest, counting to 5. Planting the feet back down, and let's work with extending the exhale this time. So inhaling, peeling the hips up, arms overhead. And now as you exhale, exhale to the count of 6. Continuing to work with lengthening the exhales. Inhaling, legs straight. And then exhale, knees into the chest, counting to 6. Giving yourself a bit of a hug, emptying the air out. Planting the feet back down on the ground. Again, inhaling the arms, lifting the hips up into an extended bridge. And now exhale, arms down to 7. Feeling that sensation as you slow the breath down consciously. Inhaling, legs back up, straight, soles of the feet parallel to the ceiling. And exhale, knees to chest, giving yourself a hug. Exhaling to the count of 7. Planting the feet. And now the last one in silence, but working with an exhale all the way to 8. When you're finished, just resting your feet back into a relaxed bridge and just taking a breath here, noticing, checking in with the body. How do you feel after working with extending the exhale? And then bringing our arms out to a cactus position by your side. And then lifting the knees into 90 degrees. Take an inhale here. And an exhale, dropping the knees over to the right, counting to 5 with your exhale. Inhaling back up into center. Exhaling to 5, dropping the knees to the left. And really engaging the core as you inhale to bring the knees back up. And we'll extend the exhale on both sides again. Now moving with an exhale of 6. And really just noticing the core, working to bring the knees back up. And noticing how you can twist deeper as you exhale. Coming back up into center and now extending to 7, both sides. See that when you can extend the exhale, the twist becomes more enhanced. Coming back up into center, and one last time, exhaling to 8 counts. The peak of our exhale. Feeling the body totally emptying out. And then refilling it again on the inhales. Meeting back in the center. And then just dropping the knees to one side so that we can come up using the hand to support you. And just coming into then a table, however you want to get there. With our knees below our hips, our wrists below our shoulders, spreading the fingers wide, index finger pointing straight ahead. Take a breath here with a neutral spine, neutral neck. And then as we inhale, dropping the belly, lifting the chin, gaze goes up. And as we exhale, round the spine, push the navel towards the spine, chin tucked, looking back at your toes. Inhale, dropping the belly, gaze comes up. And now as we exhale, pushing the navel towards the spine to a count of 5 and really rounding. Pushing the shoulder blades towards the ceiling. Inhale, dropping the belly, gaze goes up. And then exhale, now extending to the count of 6. Finding a little more rounding in the spine each time. Again, shoulder blades towards the ceiling. Inhale, feeling the heart open. Expanding the chest. And then exhale, dropping the chin, pushing the navel towards the spine for a count of 7. Emptying fully out. And feeling the spine really start to open up. Inhaling, heart forward, chin up, gaze up. Exhale, chin in, navel towards the spine, rounding to the count of 8. And then when you're ready, coming back into our neutral spine. And again, just soaking in how it feels when we work with the exhales. And then coming up just to kneeling, still stacking our hips over our knees, slight tuck of the tailbone, keeping our lower abdomen engaged, locking in with our Mula Bandha. Chin is back slightly, rolling the shoulders back. Inhale the arms up overhead, maybe looking at the hands. And then as we exhale, taking the hands back towards our sacrum and folding to bring our forehead to the mat into a child's pose. Inhale, reaching back up. Engaging our lower abdomen, maybe looking up. And now exhale, again, bringing the hands to the back of the sacrum to the count of 5. Touching the forehead down towards the mat. Inhale, lifting up, reaching up. Slight tuck of the tailbone. Exhale to the count of 6, tucking the chin and folding. Connecting our forehead, our third eye, to the mat, to the earth. Counting to 6. Inhale, reaching back up. And then exhale, folding to the count of 7. Hands toward our sacrum. Extending the exhale. Last time, reaching up. Again, slight tuck of the tailbone, gaze comes slightly up. And now for a round of an 8 count of breath, tucking the chin and then folding. Exhaling all the way out. And let's pause here into our child's pose. Taking a round of breath. And again, just noticing. On your next inhale, slightly just lifting the forehead, placing the hands at the front of your mat, tucking your toes, and gently pushing back as you exhale into downward facing dog. For our first downward facing dog of the day, dropping one heel down and then the other. Just adjusting into the shape. And still being conscious of the breath. Going a little deeper with each exhale. Maybe even swaying the hips side to side. Whatever feels good. And then settling here for a breath. Pushing the tailbone towards the back corner of the room. And as we exhale, always engaging the lower abdomen. Navel in and up at the end of the exhale. On your next inhale, looking at your hands and gently walking forward. Let your feet meet your hands, keeping the knees bent. Release into a forward fold, releasing the neck so that there's no tension. Deep bend in the knees as much as you need, attempting to get our torso onto our thighs. And with each exhale, feel a little more release, a little bit more of a fold. On your next exhale, slowly rolling up, vertebra by vertebra. Head is the last to come up. And then just adjusting here. Our feet are about hip distance apart, parallel to one another. Tailbone slightly tucked, lower abdomen engaged, palms face forward, shoulders rolled back. Shoulder blades melting down our back. Gaze is forward in Tadasana. Tadasana being one of the master poses in hatha. This is the space where we come back, where we absorb the sensations of working with the breath and working with asana. So come here. And just notice how you feel as you breathe. And now bringing the hands to the back of the hamstrings. Take an inhale. And as we exhale, gliding the hands down with the flat back, down the backs of our legs, coming into a forward fold. And then inhale, keeping the hands on the front of our legs as we roll up. Connecting with our body, the hands on the legs. And now exhale just the same, counting to 5, folding. Inhaling back up. And again, exhaling with the count of 6 with a flat back. Inhale, moving the hands up the front of the legs, engaging the lower abdomen to come up. And then exhale, folding to the count of 7. Really pushing the navel towards the spine, navel in and up at the end of the exhale. Inhale, coming up. And last one with the exhale to 8. Again, navel towards the spine at the end, in and up. And then inhale, coming all the way up. And again, meeting back into Tadasana. Tailbone slightly tucked under, lower abdomen engaged, rolling the shoulders back. And notice how you feel with these extended exhales. On your next inhale, reaching the arms up. Maybe gaze comes up, looking at the hands. And then exhale with a flat back, folding all the way down into forward fold. Planting the hands on the earth. Stepping the right foot back, and then dropping the right knee towards the earth. And just adjusting here in our lunge. Taking a breath. Neck is neutral. And then inhale the arms up. And then exhale, dropping the left arm and reaching over towards the left side with the right hand. Feeling that long stretch in the side of our right body. Wrists and shoulders and hips in one line. Lower abdomen engaged as we breathe. Inhale, reaching the arms up. And then exhale, twist. Right arm forward, left arm back. Looking back at our left wrist. Exhaling here, emptying out. Inhaling, reaching back up. And then exhale, dropping the arms to the outside of the left foot. Tucking the back toe. And coming back into plank. Keeping our fingers spread wide. Index fingers facing forward. And just maybe moving, rocking back side to side. Engaging the core. Using the lower abdomen to keep our body straight. Take a breath here. And then drop down. Knees, chest, and chin coming all the way down to the mat. Just swaying the hips side to side, adjusting the lower back. Resting the tops of the feet on the mat, about hip distance apart, with our hands under our shoulders. Keeping our elbows in. On your next inhale, lift up into baby cobra. Shoulders relaxed. And then exhale, come back down, forehead on the mat. Inhale, maybe a little higher than last time, using the hands to help us just a bit. And then exhale, rolling back down. One more inhale, coming back up, maybe a little higher. Shoulders back and down. Exhale, roll back down. And now taking our arms out to the side of the mat, fingertips up, palms are up. Elbows facing towards the ceiling. Inhale, come all the way up, lifting into a spider cobra. And on your next exhale, dipping the right shoulder down and looking back over your left shoulder. Inhale, back up. Exhale, dip the left shoulder. Inhale, filling up. And then exhale, rolling all the way back down, emptying out of air. Hands under your shoulders. And then just pressing back into child's pose. Taking care of the lower back. Countering our cobra. Resting here. feeling that contact with our forehead to the earth. Each time we exhale, feel that you're sinking a little deeper into the earth, but totally supported by the ground beneath you. Again, noticing the quality of the breath. Coming back to a calm and steady exhale. On your next inhale, coming into table, tucking the toes, pushing back into downward facing dog as we exhale, engaging the lower abdomen, pushing the navel back towards the spine, belly button in and up. And then on your next inhale, look towards your hands, walk or step forward into forward fold. Emptying out here. And then inhale, coming all the way up, lifting the arms, looking at the hands above your head. And exhale, pushing the air down, coming back into our Tadasana. Making adjustments so that our feet are hip distance, tucking the tailbone, lower abdomen engaged, rolling the shoulders back, palms face forward, and notice. Notice when we come back to this pose, how do we feel? On your next inhale, reaching the arms up, hands into prayer, bringing them to heart center, and then fold. With a flat back, releasing the head, placing the hands on the floor, and now stepping our left foot back, dropping the left knee, and just adjust here. Taking a breath before coming up. And then inhale, reaching the arms up. And on your exhale, dropping the right arm and reaching the left hand over towards the right side. Wrists in line with shoulders, in line with hips. And feel your side body opening up. Inhale, reaching the arms back up. And then exhale, twist. Left arm forward, right arm back, and look at your right wrist. Totally emptying out. And then inhale, reaching back up. And then exhale, framing the front foot with your hands. Tucking the back toe, and then stepping back into downward facing dog. And stay here for a couple breaths. Exhaling, pushing the tailbone a little further back to the back corner of the room. As always, lower abdomen engaged, navel towards the spine. And again, let's work with the extending with the exhales. Exhaling to the count of 5. And then inhaling. And then exhaling to 6. Inhaling again. Exhaling to 7. Navel in and up as we push it back towards our spine. Really emptying out. Last round. Inhaling and exhaling towards 8. On your next inhale, lifting the right leg up and back, and then bringing it through to set up for pigeon. So you want to bring the right knee towards the right wrist, and right ankle towards the left wrist. Before you put your left leg down, keep the left knee lifted just slightly as you set the right back side of your leg down so that you can make any adjustments to wiggle around, finding your comfort zone. And then finally, setting the left knee down, left top of the foot, finding some length in the spine. And as we exhale, fold. Coming down towards our mat, either using our arms or hands as a pillow, or resting your forehead on the mat. And here is where we can let go. Still seeing if we can extend any of our exhales, but really just surrendering. Seeing if there's any places that we can soften. Are there any adjustments you can make to even become 10% more comfortable, even 10% more supported? And breathe here through a few more rounds of breath. With each exhale, feeling your body melt just a little more into the mat. One more round of breath. And then preparing to lift up, bringing our hands maybe closer to the body, and just slowly peeling the top half of our body up. Tucking the back toes of our left foot, and then unwinding to push back into downward facing dog. Our last downward facing dog of this practice. And noticing that you found a little more length each time in your downward facing dog. One more breath here. And then inhaling, lifting the left leg. Exhaling it, bringing it through for pigeon on the other side. Left knee towards left wrist. Left ankle towards right wrist. And before you drop your right knee, just kind of wiggle around, making any adjustments before you settle. And then eventually dropping the right knee, right top of the foot, finding some length as you inhale. And then exhale, walking the hands forward and just melting, surrendering into the pose. Connecting the forehead with the mat. And again, see where there's any place that you can soften just a bit more. Even if it makes you 10% more comfortable, what can you do to soften just a little bit more so that you can surrender in this shape? Continuing to work with lengthening the exhales. And feel your body surrender each time you empty out of air. One more round of breath. And then starting to prepare to come up, just slowly unwinding, walking the hands back, And then just swinging the right foot around. Keeping the right foot extended. Bending the left leg. Bringing the left sole of the foot into the inner right thigh. Setting up for Janu Sirsasana, head to knee pose. This actually being one of the master poses in hatha because it requires a lot of stillness from the mind. So turning our torso towards our right foot engaged, raising the arms as we inhale, still engaging our lower abdomen. And as we exhale, fold to the count of 5 with the flat back. We don't need to come all the way down, but just to maintain a straight spine. Inhale, coming back up. And exhale to the count of 6, a little slower, preparing for later stillness. Reaching back up on our inhale. Exhale towards 7 and feel that you're creating a little more length each time as we work with the exhales. Inhaling brings you back up. And then the last one, so really finding length in the spine, exhaling towards 8. And then staying here at the end of our count of 8. Still maintaining the straightness in the spine, so it's okay if our head doesn't get towards our knee. Hands can rest along either side of the right leg. And here is what we've prepared for. Using the breath and movement to come to stillness. When your mind wanders from here, focus on extending the exhales. One more round of intentional breath. And on your next inhale, slowly just walking the hands back up. Finding the upright strength in your spine. And then switching sides. Bringing the right sole of the foot to the inner left thigh. Pointing the left toes up towards the ceiling. And again, let's prepare the body for stillness. So facing our torso towards the left foot. Inhaling the arms up with the flat back. Exhale to the count of 5. And then inhale, coming back up. And let's work with our lengthening, maintaining a straight spine, but exhaling to 6. Slower each time. Inhaling brings you back up, working towards our count of 7. Last inhale up, reaching, really find space in between each vertebra. And then exhale with our longest one yet to an 8 count. That brings us into the pose. Again, not as important if our head touches our leg, but that we maintain a straight spine and we work on extending our exhales and finding stillness here. The only part of us moving is our navel. Always coming back to the breath when our mind wanders. The breath is what keeps us here in the stillness. One more round. And then inhaling, reaching back up, really finding some length. And then exhale, just letting the arms fall down. Bringing the feet flat to the floor, knees are bent. And we'll roll down to the floor, coming back to where we started. Just in a resting bridge. And the same flow that we did before, where we inhale the arms up and overhead, back to the floor, lifting the hips up into bridge. And then exhale, bringing the arms back down to a count of 5. Inhaling the legs back up, feeling the blood drain from the feet towards the hips. Exhale to the count of 5, hugging the knees into the chest, feeling the low back press into the mat. Dropping the feet, inhaling the arms up and back, hips lift, maybe a little higher than before. And then exhale, dropping the arms, dropping the hips to the count of 6. Inhaling the legs straighten up, feet parallel to the ceiling. Exhale, count of 6, bringing the knees into the chest, maybe a little deeper than the last time. Giving our low back a bit of a massage. Dropping the feet. Again, inhaling the arms up, lifting the hips up into bridge, extended. And then exhale, dropping the hips to the count of 7. And just noticing the difference of when you started this practice and to now, even with the same movements. Legs up and straight. And then exhale to the count of 7, bringing the knees in towards the chest. And for our last round, doing this one in silence, but extending each of the exhales all the way to 8. And at the end of your last round, just putting the feet back down, coming into one last bridge pose. But this time keeping our arms by our side. The sacrum is the first to come up, inhaling up into bridge. And maybe then tucking the shoulders underneath our body, interlacing the fingers underneath our body. And really pushing the hips up this time, coming into a full bridge. And as you exhale, just stay here. Always still consciously working to extend the exhales. One more round. And then exhale, vertebra by vertebra, bringing our spine towards the mat. And now extending the legs out long, coming into just a short savasana. Letting go here. With each exhale, feel your body sinking deeper into the earth. As you inhale, inhaling the earth's energy energy through the nostrils. Just exhale, letting it go. Continually sinking deeper. And then just finally letting go of the breath. No work left to do. Just being here. Starting to come back to the sound of my voice, but keeping the eyes closed. We begin to prepare for pranayama and meditation. Bringing one knee into the chest and then the other. Maybe rolling the head side to side. And then rolling over to one side so that we can eventually push ourselves up. And maybe grabbing a pillow or bolster or blanket if that's comfortable. Setting up for pranayama and meditation. Adjusting to find yourself in a comfortable seat. Shoulders over our hips, feeling our spine supported, vertebra by vertebra stacked. Not any strain in the back, just supported. And closing down the eyes. And again, working with this extending of the exhale. So now inhaling for the count of 6. And then exhaling for the count of 8. Always focusing that the breath comes from our lower belly. As we watch the navel rise for the count of 6. And fall for the count of 8. And continue like this for a few more rounds. And as always, noticing what happens when we extend the exhale. Noticing the body and the mind calm. Still keeping all of our inhales and exhales in the lower belly. One more round of our inhale for 6 and our exhale for 8. Totally emptying out the end of the exhale. Navel gently back towards the spine. And on our next round, still inhaling for 6, but now extending the exhale to 10. Focusing on slowing down the exhale and emptying out. for 6. Exhaling for 10. And as you're counting, really noticing the stillness of your body and of your mind as you focus on lengthening the exhales. Continue with a few more rounds like this. One more round of 6 to 10. And now, still inhaling for 6, gently filling up. But now see if you can exhale for 12. Truly pushing the navel back towards the spine and completely emptying the air out as we exhale to 12. And notice how you were able to lengthen the exhales each time. Finding the stillness and calmness in the body and mind, all through the breath. Continuing with this count, again, really noticing the stillness and the calmness, like a lake. The still lake of the mind. One more round of breath like this. And then just letting go of the count. Bathing in the presence of stillness. Visualizing the mind as a still lake. So still that a bright full moon's reflection can be seen clearly. The mind so still that there's no rippling, so that a full moon can be clearly reflected. And know that this part of our mind is always present within us. We can always come back here to this equanimity of the mind. And now when you're ready, keeping the eyes closed, but dropping the chin towards your chest. Bringing your hands in front of your heart into prayer. Lifting the gaze. The light in me honors the light in all of you. Namaste.